soap was a discovery as opposed to someone who's created it. It was a discovery from the Roman times. My partner said he wants to have a shower and not have it sting, and the synthetics were stinging. A few weeks later, I gave him a bar of soap and said, here you go, try this. And he was blown away with how he now could shower without any irritants to his body.
So welcome, Belinda Robinson, to a Kiwi original. This is episode 5 for those of you who are listening or watching on the show. And Belinda, you run a company called Ecobeings.
Yes.
And this is a company that specializes in eco-friendly cleaning products. Now, we're going to get onto your history and a little bit and how you came up with this idea and where you saw the opportunity in New Zealand. But let's just start off with, what is good practice when you're making a cleaning product? What are some of the foundations that us as consumers, when we just grab a soap or a shampoo, that we're not even realizing that for you it's your day-to-day business of what you do?
Generally, when we start making, it's a matter of what do we need to be doing. We need to remove the dirt and grime, and all our company is soap-based. So all our cleaning products are using soap as the detergent instead of the traditional stuff currently, which is all synthetic detergents. So with soap, it's an degreaser and it's a surface tension reducer. So those are the two things we need to use for cleaning. And then we work out, is it for the clothes, is it for the body, how much moisturising extra do we need if it's for personal care, or whether it's we're doing the washing up, we don't want to leave a greasy film. So we can formulate for how much moisture we want to be leaving on the products.
And what's the difference there between a eco cleaning product and a synthetic centric one?
With the synthetic detergents, they're all acid-based. They are still plant-based. As in, people are now removed themselves away from the petroleum-based. But if you think about it, petroleum is actually million-year-old plants, so it is still plant-based. But it's just now, so it's not a matter of the new synthetic detergents. Okay, we've come away from the petroleum, so we are now having new synthetic detergents that are renewable. So it's about the renewable. It's not about the end of what that oil has done or where it's more where it's originated from. We're not destroying the earth to get it out from under the ground and things like that. So it's a more renewable plant-based oil.
Are they claiming that it's plant-based because it's derived from fossil fuels?
No. What I'm saying is that in reality, the petroleum is still a plant-based oil because it is from the ground, from plants that have gone degraded over millions of years. So they're still plant-based oils. It's not as if it is a lard and a tallow, like a lot of people say, oh no, don't have those soaps, they've got animal fats. No, they're still plant-based oil. So it is still a process, but it's about the renewability of the new plant-based oils. But they're still synthetic detergents. They've gone through a lot of processes where soap as a detergent is actually, soap was a discovery as opposed to someone who's created it. No one's developed it. It was a discovery from the Roman times. So similar to fire needs 3 elements. Your oxygen, your heat source, and your fuel. Soap actually only needs 3 elements. It has water, alkali, and fats. So, and it was discovered during Roman times when they used to do animal sacrifices over the fires. And then when rain came along, in the ashes, because potash is a caustic, and so from the ashes of the fires where the animal fats had fallen down and then the rain came, they found that the ashes were foaming, and that's where soap initially was discovered. So it's just developed on from then.
So that's an interesting source story of where soap has come from. So this goes right back, almost prehistoric man time.
Well, they can show back to Babylonian times, so 5,000 years soap has been around. It's been so valuable that during the World Wars, soap was rationed amongst all the other things because it was the thing that was required to make sure everybody was hygienically clean, that we kept all the diseases at bay, and everybody was safe and good to carry on.
When did it switch to the more synthetic versions, when there was something that was discovered versus something that was manufactured?
1916. After World War One, the Germans created synthetic detergent, and it was because soap was so valuable they realised, no, if it's rationed, let's see if we can create something different. And so it's only been around just over 100 years.
And so it was manufactured through a period of time where there was scarcity around soap.
Yep.
And then, because that's something that's hard to kind of get my head around, is that the thing that was scarce back then is now plentiful, which then brings us to when or why did you decide to set up Ecobeings, given that soap's plentiful? Where did you see the opportunity that wasn't there?
The soap as the traditional soap was not plentiful. Everybody and still are using all the liquids, the liquid versions, your shower wash and things like that. And none of those are soap. There's not a single liquid soap in supermarket. They're all synthetic detergents.
Wow.
And my partner said, I made the mistake of saying to him one day, the children had moved off to high school, and I said, I'm bored. And he said, okay, well, I'll give you a project. Can you make me a soap that won't make my skin itch or irritate? He said, he said he wants to have a shower and not to have it sting, and the synthetics were stinging. So I went, okay, there's a challenge. So a few weeks later, I gave him a bar of soap and said, here you go, try this. And he was blown away with how he now could shower without any irritants to his body. And so it just snowballed from there. Went from cooking in the kitchen to building a shed and now in a factory.
And through those moments, let's just dig into that a little bit. Because you make it sound really easy, and it probably hasn't been. There's probably been a lot of ups and downs along the way. So you knew you had created something that worked for one person. When was the first time you actually sold one? Someone gave you money for the Ecobeings soap and said, I want more of this.
I just went to one of the local markets. It was actually the Kiwi Field Days sort of little A&P show, where you just spend $50 for a site, and just went there and everybody loved it and got good feedback and thought, okay, this is something that we can grow and go with. And during the research of understanding the pH of a soap, I realised there was a lot of greenwashing out there and falsehoods, and decided, no, I would stick with the true, honest product that has been around for years.
So this is different from where a type of soap where you may see it being pH balanced and still being natural, or is that the synthetic stuff as well?
The pH balanced soaps they'll have the base of a true soap being the alkali, oil and water, but then they will have extras in there to try and counteract and try and balance the soap out, which you can do with a bar, you can't do with a liquid. But true soap should be an alkali. They should be between an 8 and 9 for the personal care, and then you can go up to a 10 for if you're wanting to use them for cleaning the household and the laundry and even the cars, floors, walls.
Well, that's different to what we're told, though, isn't it? That a pH balanced soap isn't harsh on your skin. So what you're saying is that actually you don't want a pH balanced soap, you want something that's more on the basic side of it.
Correct. If you're looking at the actual reason of why we're cleaning off the bugs, we're cleaning off the dirt and grime of the day, we're cleaning off the sweat that might have come out through our body through doing exercise and things. And our skin doesn't actually have a pH. You can only test the pH of a soluble, which our skin isn't. So they're testing the secretions of the skin, which changes throughout the day. So you might find in the morning your pH of your skin, of your secretions, is about 6.5, but then you might do exercise, you get a lot of acid buildup coming out through your sweats, and the pH might go down to as low as a 5 coming out through the secretions. So those are the toxins that your body is sweating out of out of your system. So my view, and over the years it hasn't caused any problems at all, is that why would you wash off acidic secretions with another acid? It is best to neutralize it with an alkali. And that's what we do. We just promote that, no, wash all the acid off with an alkali, and you're clearing it all away, and then you're also leaving an alkali film to help neutralize the next load of acids that come onto your skin.
Now, eco everything is the rage right now. Your organisation started in, what was it, 2011?
Yes, 2010 we set up.
So you almost had a decade in this. It's certainly very mainstream, and I've seen overseas some of these multinationals acquiring green brands because they're seeing the high growth in them. What was the brand Ecobeings about when you launched it? What were some of the values you wanted to imbue into the organisation? And how has that morphed as the rest of New Zealand and the world is caught up with your way of thinking?
Yeah, I think the company is actually growing into a lot of people's ideas of where we need to be going, because we did create it as eco-beings, meaning, you know, human beings. We all need to start becoming more eco, more environmental. In 1994, I visited Borneo and spent time with some orangutans. And so straight off, as soon as I've decided, no, I would be setting up a company, it was going to be palm oil free. And it was also going to be that we try not to use, with our knowledge, we do not use any product that will destroy an animal's habitat. So it's a matter of, we ended up, so our company is also vegan. And that wasn't through a conscious choice. It was just like, we can't use honey or the waxes, because there are no available sources of harvested ones that are effectively free range. They're all farmed now, so therefore we would be destroying a habitat to receive those goods. So we just chose that no, it would equate to us being a vegan company. I'm not personally vegan, but it just adds to the package.
So it's very much about protecting our environment.
Yep.
Protecting the environment for animals as well. So you, right back in 1994, this was an idea that in your head. By 2011, you'd launched the business. When between 2011 and now, we're in 2020 at the moment, did you go from one product to multiple products?
It was realising that from my basic bar soap that I was making at the time, and washing up and doing all my daily chores around the house after doing the products, it was realising that I didn't actually need any other products than my soap to clean the whole household with.
Because you're different from a lot of the other manufacturers that don't put all of the ingredients on the back panel. You can see exactly what goes into your products.
Yes, that's one of our things, is we're transparent. There's no hidden agendas in there. There's nothing. It's just totally transparent. So with our products, there's no added extras. We don't use fillers in our laundry powders and things. There's no anti-caking agents. If it clumps, so what? Just bash it with a hammer or something and unclump it. Squash it.
So if we pick one of these up here, what would be what is the ingredients of one of these products, for example?
So this one, our 3S shampoo, it has sunflower oil, rapeseed oil and coconut oil. And those three oils are saponified, so they're turned into soap with alkali and water.
Saponified, what does
saponified.
that mean?
That literally does mean that with the adding of the alkali and the water, the saponification is the turning into soap. It's the chemical reaction that happens that turns the three elements into soap.
I'm learning so much today.
So in Grandma's day, it used to be, and when they started the synthetic detergents, it was, don't use soap, it's caustic. Grandma's soap's caustic. But poor Grandma, she used to make her soap from the rendered fats from the Sunday roast. And she would just grab all the roast oils and add her caustic and her water. And they did what was called a zap test. And similar to zapping a battery onto your tongue and seeing if it goes, they would do that with the soap.
Why?
If the soap went, "Ooh," then, oh no, that's a bit caustic, it will go to the laundry. If it didn't zap, that's okay, we can use it in the house. So poor grandma's soap was sometimes a little heavy on the caustic side. But now, with science on our side, we can saponify it to make it exactly what we require. So we can make it cleaning or we can make it moisturizing. Because every single oil that you use has a different saponification level, a different amount of caustic required to turn it into soap. So we now have calculators for every single formulation, goes through a calculator to make sure it does not end up being caustic to the skin or to the environment or to anywhere that you're needing it.
And I see from some of the reading I did that you also do pet shampoos and soap. So what's the difference between what a pet needs for their cleaning regimes and products that's different from humans?
Basically, it's the same, except you just don't do it as often. I have a dog, on the very odd occasion, she'll need a clean. She's gone down to the swamp and she comes in and you're thinking, oh no, I'm not having that in the house. So you need to give them a wash. So our dog, probably only 3 or 4 times a year, she'll get a wash. So when she does get the wash, she's got the added extras of the essential oils that are good for their skin. The neem, which is a flea repellent and also will stop the fleas in their cycle. So there's added extras there. So if you do have a pet that's got fleas and you're wanting to do it naturally, you can do it with a pet shampoo. But generally it's similar to us, but you don't want to wash out all their oils. They don't need a daily wash like we do. So it's just looking after them of what their needs are.
Sorry to interrupt. This won't take long. Subscribe to the show and you'll never miss another one of these amazing episodes. Right, back to the show. Okay, let's come on to now the customer side of it. As you're growing your business, how did you find customers, or how did customers find you?
The majority of them have come through doing the big expos. So I've been doing, initially it was the Green Living Show, and I did 4 years with them, and then now the Go Green Expo. And then last year I also did the food show, which was a huge success.
It makes sense because in those particular events, they're filtered at the door. People that care about some of the broader values which your company represents, those are the only people turning up. So you don't have to do the bigger pitch to them.
That's it. You're not having to think, oh, I need to convert them first of all onto an eco product, and then I need to explain why we're different to the other ones. They just come in straight away. They want to be more environmental. They want to do the right thing. And so it's a matter of what's the difference between you and them? And we can answer that. So it turns into a very easy exchange and loyalty from the customer.
I feel the same way around New Zealand Made, is that rather than try and convince, show off the best of some of the New Zealand business that are making things here. And then if someone else sees that and thinks, wow, they're doing a great job, then that's going to attract them or pull them into NZ Made, rather than us pushing out saying, hey, you should join or you should become a New Zealand Made license holder. So it's about finding the right people without interrupting their current belief systems.
Yes. One of the ladies that we do make for, she joined NZ Made about 6 months ago, I believe. And she was just blown away. I just said I wouldn't be without it, and so she said, okay, I'm going on board as well.
Because that's a different side, and we haven't come on to that, of your business, where Ecobeings doesn't just create cleaning products and sell direct to consumers. That's just part of what you do. When did you get into the contract manufacturing side of it?
That was probably 4 or 5 years ago. I got to the stage where with my bar soaps, I initially was making them all by hand in small batches, like a lot of the boutique companies within New Zealand. And I found out I just could not keep up. And with the little boutique bars, they're also slightly, they don't last quite as long as a triple milled bar of soap that has gone through a more manual process. So I decided, right, I needed to look out to be able to do more volume. So I went to a company and said, look, it needs to be palm oil free, and I need to remove the EDTA out of your base formulations that you have. And it was going to be such an exorbitant price. I just went, okay, don't worry, I'll bring in my own machines. So that's what I did. So got a little extra funding from our local Top Energy up north, got a grant from them, and managed to bring in my own machinery. And so now I don't need the machinery 24/7 for me. And so it was, okay, well, when I'm at the shows and things, I'll go to some of the smaller companies that don't want to go and have to order 5,000 bars at a time, and just say, look, we've got the machines, we've got the base product, we can do small runs for you.
That's fascinating. So this came about because the people that were doing your manufacturing for you couldn't get the specifications right and remove the things that you needed removed for your values.
Yeah.
So then you bring in the equipment and they've got a utilization problem because you only need it 1 or 10% of the time. So you've now helped scale up New Zealand manufacturing in cleaning products with good values behind them. How many businesses would you supply in contract manufacturing now?
I'm only doing 5 at the moment, but I've got another 2 companies that we're talking with.
And where is all this equipment? Where does Ecobeings soap and those that you contract manufacture, where does that all get made?
It's all made in Waipapa, which is on the outskirts of Kerikiri. So we're already up in the beautiful far north. So we feel that also there's an ethos to us, the fact of nobody comes into the premise that has had to sit on a motorway, get frustrated. So they already come in with a good feeling in the morning. And as you walk in the doors, it just smells of nice essential oils and, it's just lovely. So everything's made with just stress-free.
It's a beautiful part of the world, and if anyone listening or watching hasn't been, Northland all the way up to Cape Reinga is 90 Mile Beach. All of that area is
it is
just stunning.
Yeah.
Is that part of the reason you call it home up there?
It's paradise, and if you can work and live in paradise, it's just wonderful. So even when we have time off, it's like, don't bother getting on flights unless it's to see family. Don't bother going anywhere else because we're already here.
It is. We're very lucky in New Zealand. We've got a lot of nature on our back door, and it always, it always makes me happy to hear from businesses that are manufacturing with the environment in mind. Given that it is 2020, New Zealand's natural environment is very special, as it is to any country around the world. I think because of how young we are as a country, it's even more special because we've got the chance to preserve it with only a few hundred years of history rather than thousands and thousands. For someone listening that is thinking, okay, these Ecobeings products I'm interested in buying, what are the different price points of each of these? What do they each do? And where can they buy them?
Okay, well here today we've got the 3S shampoo, shower and shave bar. So it's the 3S soap. And this is actually just magic. In our household, this is the only product we have in our shower. Literally, the partner has a razor and I have a face mitt. And then this is it. Just 1 bar of soap. No shower gels, no shaving bottle, shaving gels, no conditioners, nothing. So even on my length hair, this shampoo is all that is all we need. So yeah, looks like a hotel bathroom. Mm-hmm. Just premium. The 3E salve it's for everyone, for everything and everywhere. So it is a balm that has got lavender and manuka in it, and then it's just argan, rice bran oil with a vegan wax. So it's just wonderful. You put it on. If you get bitten by a mosquito, you can put this on and the itch is gone within seconds.
I need this. I always get bitten by mosquitoes. If I'm at a party, no one else gets bitten, and I have to leave. It's all right, I'm using this. So
it will last a long time. It's 15 grams, and it just goes on forever and ever and ever. But you can use it on your lips, you can use it on cuts, cold sores, acne, just so many different things.
What's in it that the mosquitoes don't like from this?
It's a combination of the lavender and the manuka. And it's not so much that the mosquitoes don't like it, so you still may get bitten, but you don't have the itch and you don't have the after effect.
Okay.
Because if you tried smearing all over your skin, you'd be a bit... but no, if you get bitten, you literally just... that straight onto the bite, itch is gone.
So this is more for where they've got me before I realise they're around.
That's it. Yeah. So it's not like a citronella that will deter them, but it's got the healing properties to just make the itch go. And then some people, if they are very susceptible to mozzies, they'll have an infection afterwards, and so it stops that as well.
Okay.
So it's a magic healing one. It's one that everybody should have next to their bed, because it's in the middle of the night when the mozzies just go mad, and also in the handbag or the medikit or anything like that. And then we have the 3S spray, which is your one-stop shop for a sanitizer and moisturizer, because the amount of times that people are trying to sanitize and then their skin is just getting so dry. And with this, it's soap-based, so there's no alcohol in here. And soap in its natural form is antibacterial. So it will kill most of the bugs and things, and just, if you can't get to actually wash your hands off afterwards, it doesn't matter. But you can use it as your soap if you want to. If you're not wanting to use the extra drying synthetic detergents, then you can actually just spray it on, rub it in, and then it will just moisturize your hands at the same time. So again, it's got the lavender and manuka in it. So it's very similar to, we do a foaming hand wash that's soap based, and it's very similar to that. And when I'm at the expos, I actually claim that my foaming soap is my magic. It's magic. Because olden saying was, especially for the ladies, it's like, oh, do you think she's had a facelift? Well, have a look at her hands and that will tell you the true age. Because women have, their hands are always in and out of the hot water.
Yes.
And so it was like that, and that's why you'll tell. Well, my hands are, with this, in and out of my alkali water all day long, and only using my foaming soap to wash my hands, and they're 20 years younger than my face. My hands, since I've been doing the company, no sunspots on my hands, they're on the face, so I'm going to be developing a alkali skincare range.
I can understand why. And I think for what I like about this is you can take it with you.
Yes.
You can put this in your handbag or in the inside of your blazer jacket, and make sure you keep your hands clean, which probably is more of a more important now than probably it ever has been. And it's alcohol free, so it gets its antibacterial properties from the soap.
Yes.
But you're not drying your hands out.
No, because we've formulated it so it's still moisturising.
Very smart.
So it's got extra olive and coconut oil in there to help moisturise the skin as well.
And are these all available to buy at ecobeings.store?
Yes, we were going to be launching them at the Go Green Expo, which unfortunately today we've just heard is now cancelled.
Of course, yes, because of CV19.
So we will be pushing them online now, because we were going to wait until the expo and have it as a big launch, but now we will go and put them online in the next few days. So yes, everybody will be able to buy from ecobeings.store.
You heard that, people. ecobeings.store. Keep clean in your house. Make sure that you're clean when you're out and about, and also keep that skin looking younger by up to 20 years on a personal case by case, no guarantees.
So you agreed
given, mate.
The hands look 20 years younger than the face.
Just echoing your words. Now I'm going to move to a new section we're doing as part of a Kiwi original, where I basically ask some fast fire questions. Now these are standard business questions. Some of them might apply to your business, some of them might not, so feel free to skip them or answering them. It's up to you. I'm going to do these as standard questions every week, so that maybe we get to learn something about what the whole of New Zealand manufacturing is thinking or feeling about particular business issues that are bigger than just the Kiwi trademark and bigger than NZ made. So you ready for this?
Uh-huh.
All right, so question 1 is on education. What skills do people need to succeed in your company?
For us, it's not a matter of skill set. We can teach anybody anything that we need them to be doing. It's more, for me, it's more their ethos, and they're willing to do things the right way, because that is the right thing to be doing. So for us, it's more ethos.
Ethos first, I like it.
Yeah.
Number 2, exports. How do you remain competitive as costs rise?
This one is just being true to your beliefs and being transparent, showing everybody exactly what are in all our products. Once your customers, and especially for export, they have an honesty and a trust in you, then it doesn't matter if your prices go up, they still want to stick with a product they can trust. They know where it's coming from, they know what's in it, and it speaks for itself.
So right, it's the whole value of brand, isn't it?
Yep.
Brand gets you beyond being in competitive price situations. Number 3, climate change. Where is the current opportunity or perceived threat for your business?
I think for my business, there are only opportunities. We're all becoming more eco. We're all going to be Ecobeings. And especially in this climate, we need to start to look back in history and find out what was there that was good. So soap has been around 5,000 years. No one's ever proven and said soap's bad for you. It works. It has worked for years. We need to now, with the benefit of science, start incorporating it and getting rid of the synthetics, which are actually destroying our waterways. They're destroying us. They're destroying our habitats. So many different things. So for us, it's just opportunities.
So it's just going back to what we already know as humanity rather than trying to re-technologize anything new.
Yep.
All right, number 4, health and safety. Where are the biggest health and safety risks in your industry?
Risks, there's not too many really. It's more the legislation. It's just, we should still be able to live with common sense. It's not that common. But I feel that the legislation is just going so far beyond now to stop the insurance companies, so ACC, from allowing them to be able to sue back to the companies, as opposed to accidents happen. And, but at the moment it seems to be, if an accident happens, right, who are we going to sue? So we're getting a bit more like some of the other countries where everything's go and talk to the lawyers, as opposed to accidents happen if everybody works honestly and within guidelines, but some of those guidelines and that health and safety is just gone completely, in my view, just over the top.
Mm-hmm. Like I worry sometimes it's about how you get that balance right, and I sometimes see on construction sites everything's been filled in, but I wonder what people are thinking and feeling about their safety, and I don't know how to get that right. It's probably above my pay grade. Question 5, compliance cost. Which one affects your business the most, i.e. tax, minimum wage, anything else that you would change if you could? The magic wand question.
I mean, taxes, no one likes them, but, it's a fact of life, and just get yourself a good accountant. That's the best thing for taxes. A fantastic accountant, which I have. From the other side of things, to me, it's the disparity between local councils. They can come in and say, we want to check your premise, we want to check you're doing everything correctly, and they can just turn up and charge whatever they like to say, well, we're just making sure you're compliant with this, this and this. And the local councils can just change from one borough to the next, and it's just crazy.
Very good insight. So thank you very much for participating in the Fast Fire questions this week. We've covered buying your products at ecobeings.store. We've covered the background of your company and some of the values that you've brought into the company and the reasons for doing it, around making sure animals have a place to live, making sure we look after the environment. You do contract manufacturing. We've covered that, and where you find your customers through some of these events where people are already on board with the way of doing things, which is natural. What we haven't probably talked of, and it's probably a good idea to finish off on this, is where do you want to go next with the business? When you look towards the future, you're a decade into this now,
Yep.
Where to from here?
I'm going to go back into if I can, which I'm filling out the paperwork right now, is back into the supermarkets. Initially I had the opportunity through contacts of doing 5 sort of pilot stores, and I used that as my marketing, my market research, should I say. Because if someone's going to pay for a product, if they don't like it, they'll tell you. So instead of going to someone and saying, oh, on Facebook, who wants to come and test my product? You'll get so many critiques. It's like how many cooking shows these days now, where everybody now goes into restaurants and say, oh, well, they could have done this like this and this like this, because we all feel like we've learnt something from all the food shows. So if you give someone an opportunity to actually critique your product, they'll always come up with something, which might not be true in the bigger environment. So I sold it through 5 supermarkets, the actual main household cleaning range. And then I removed away from there because the health stores and the other stores didn't want to compete with the supermarkets. But now I feel I've got a concrete formulations with everything I have now, and I feel it's possibly more, it's my duty to sort of have it in channels where everybody can get it at a good price. There's so many natural products that are classed as boutique that triple the price on what you actually need to charge, because they're only getting small volumes, and so we all need an income, but because it's small volumes, they're charging more to get that income that they want. Where I'd prefer to do larger volumes, get it into the supermarkets again, and then be able to charge people a price that it might be 50 cents more than the synthetic one, but it's not $6 more than the synthetic one. So that's where I'm wanting the products to all go.
I think your timing is right. I think you have mainstream demanding this, and yet there is a price differential, because when you're small, you can't do mass. Craft breweries went through this. They had small boutique craft beer and competing with the mainstream ones, and then someone decided, why don't we just have great tasting beer and do volumes of it? And then the price came down on craft beer, and so that left ones that didn't have the machinery at a different competitive point to the ones that did. And I think if you look at, go back into the conversation, think about, you've actually invested in this machinery already.
Yes.
It makes sense to then look at, how do you get this product into the hands of more people who want to protect the environment and animals the same way you do. I'm thinking that after this call, there's probably after this interview, there's probably someone I can introduce you to at the supermarkets too.
Wonderful.
So we'll chat about that after the show. Usually when I finish up, I ask you, is there anything I haven't discussed or talked about that you want to mention on your episode of a Kiwi Original?
No, I think most of it we've spoken about. One of the big things was understanding what the true soap is. It's not your synthetic detergent. It's not your hand wash, and soap is actually fantastic. It's something that you're going to see a lot more of, because it's required. It's easy, and it does its job.
I love it.
Does what it says on the tin.
Belinda, thank you very much for travelling all the way down from Waipapa in Northland to be on a Kiwi Original. And I wish you the best of luck in the future. And if you're listening or watching this show, look out for Ecobeings products on supermarket shelves near you.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
This has been a Kiwi Original brought to you by the New Zealand Made team. Thanks for watching. The New Zealand Made trademark is used by over 1,200 businesses in New Zealand. The New Zealand Made team licenses that trademark. Check if you're eligible at bynz.org.nz. If you feel that someone should see this, share it with them now. Otherwise, subscribe to youtube.com/bynzmade, and we'll see you on the next episode.